Yo. Welcome back to the Top 5 Champions series. And today, we're cooking with straight radiation, baby, because it's time for the science class. These champs are absolute monsters. The radioactive freaks, the crazy lab experiments gone wrong. The ones that'll make you regret queuing up against them. Now, if you've been following this series, you already know the deal. We've already covered the mutant gods and the skill savages, so if you missed those, you're slacking, my guy. Go check them out. Links are sitting pretty down in the description. And trust me, you do not want to waste those precious rank up mats on mid-champs. We're here making sure every single rank up counts. So buckle up, because today we're talking about the top 5 best of the best science champions in Marvel Contest of Champions. These are the ones you need to rank if you want to stay on top of the game, crush Battlegrounds, and flex in every piece of content Marvel Contest of Champions throws your way. Let's go! Alright, but before we jump in, do me a solid. If you're loving what you're watching, smash that like button real quick. It helps out the channel a ton, and honestly, it lets me know you guys are vibing with this series and want more of it. Appreciate you. Number 5, Human Torch. Yeah, baby, you heard that right. Now that we finally got a 7-star Human Torch in the game, I can finally put him on this list. Normally, in my previous rankings, this spot would have gone to Titania, and don't get me wrong, she's still an absolute beast. But with my boy Human Torch arriving as a 7-star, the game just changed. And come on, we all know what Human Torch is about. Everybody knows about his pre-fight madness. Everybody knows about his Nova Flames. This dude has been terrorizing the Mystic class since the day he dropped, and it's only fair he gets his flowers right here in the Science Top 5. The crazy part is how he completely flips the script against Mystic champions. You throw him into any fight against Mystic defenders, and it's like watching a flamethrower melt through butter. The ability to shut down an entire class with just one champion? That's insane value. That's the kind of utility you just can't ignore when rank-up resources are tight. And it doesn't even stop there. In other scenarios where you can actually apply regular incinerates, Torch gets even nastier. Pop his pre-fight, and suddenly you're stacking Nova Flames, which, by the way, are passives, meaning they completely bypass Incinerate immunity and do way more damage than standard debuffs. That's why his damage feels so absurd. It's not just heat, it's straight nuclear. So yeah, people have been waiting and begging for Human Torch to join the 7-star roster, and now that he's here, there's no question in my mind, he 100% deserves his spot in my top 5 science champions list. My guy is just too reliable, too consistent, and too dangerous not to be here. Number 4, Spiderham. Oh man, this little piggy right here is just awesome. Don't let the cartoon looks fool you, because this dude is a straight menace in the battle realm. He's what I call a dual threat, super solid on attack and surprisingly annoying on defense. On defense, if you don't bring in the right counter for those power stings, you're gonna have a very bad time. Trust me, I've seen it happen over and over in Battlegrounds. People laugh when they see Spiderham on the draft screen. But once they're in the fight, he's evading all over the place, stacking power stings, and suddenly, you're the one getting clowned. He might look goofy, but he will absolutely ruin your run if you're not ready. And then offensively, bruh, Spiderham is just different. He's got such a unique playstyle compared to anyone else in the game. Stacking those power stings and watching your opponent melt themselves every time they throw a special is one of the most satisfying things in Marvel Contest of Champions. It's that sweet moment where you don't even need to finish them off. They just KO themselves trying to fight back. That's peak comedy and peak power at the same time. Now, yeah, I know some of you already guessed it. There's one other champ in this science list who does power stings even better, and we'll get to him soon. But before that guy showed up, Spiderham was the one-man power sting show, shutting down fights in his own hilarious but deadly way. So yeah, I absolutely love this piggy. Fun, unique, annoying to deal with, and powerful as hell. That's why Spiderham sits at number 4 in my top 5 science champions. Number 3, Photon. Man, the fact that Photon is still sitting at number 3 on my top 5 science list is insane by itself. Think about it. We've been getting a ton of new champs, crazy reworks, huge buffs to older champions, and yet Photon hasn't budged. She's still rock solid right here in my top 3, and that alone tells you just how crazy valuable she is. Now, earlier I was talking about Spiderham being a dual threat, right? Well, if you really look at it, Photon is an even better dual threat overall. On defense, she is straight up painful to deal with. Between her miss mechanics, the way she controls fights, and those unavoidable specials, if you slip up once, she'll absolutely shred you. People hate fighting her, and that's exactly why she's such a strong defender. But then flip her around on offense? Photon is an absolute beast. And here's one of the things that makes me love her the more I use her. She can actually parry non-contact hits. That's huge. You know how many annoying defenders have non-contact basics that you usually can't parry? Photon just shrugs that off like it's nothing. She's out here chilling while other champs are struggling. That alone gives her insane value in today's meta. So yeah, Photon's one of those champions that just feels packed with utility, damage, and defensive annoyance all in one. She's still one of the smartest rank ups you can make right now, and she absolutely deserves her spot as the number 3 best science champion in the game. No question. Number 2, Count Nefaria. Now listen, when I made my previous top 5 list, Count was still brand new. At that time, I didn't have enough experience with him, and honestly it was too early to judge. But now? Oh, man, this guy is straight up nuts. Let's talk about his immunities first, because that's where things get wild. This dude is absolutely loaded. He's immune to power steal, immune to bleed effects, has 90% shock resistance, which basically means if you even get shocked, it's just a free little heal. He's immune to incinerates. Like, come on, bro. That alone is enough to put him near the top of this list. But wait, there's more. And this is where he really flexes. He can handle 2 of the most annoying mechanics in the entire game, regeneration and power gain. Both of those normally give players nightmares, but Count just shrugs them off. If he's awakened, he can even steal health when opponents try to regen. That's just disrespectful at this point. And then there's his ionic form. Once he's in that, the man gets 90% degeneration resistance. Like seriously, are you kidding me? Who thought that was balanced? You're telling me he can shrug off all these debuffs and tank degen on top of it? That's ridiculous. And it doesn't stop there either. He's got resistance to both physical and energy damage baked in. Bro, it feels like the guy is countering every single type of damage you'd ever be scared of in this game. That's not utility. That's absurdity. And the best part? You don't even have to do anything crazy with him. This is just him, running his normal rotation. That's how stacked he is. Insanely powerful champion, no question. Now after hearing all this, you're probably screaming, yo, why isn't this guy number 1? And trust me, I get it. I had the same thought. The only reason, and I mean the only thing holding him back, is that he's not that scary as a defender. Offensively, he's number 1, hands down. But when we're talking about the full package of what makes a top science champion, there's one other face that edges him out. And I promise, that number 1 pick is gonna shock a lot of you who haven't really given that champ a chance yet. And finally, coming in at number 1, Spiderwoman. Listen, dude, this champ is the full package. When she first dropped, I didn't even think she was gonna be that crazy. But man, once I actually started fighting her and using her, she completely blew me away. Spiderwoman is hands down the most well-rounded science champion in the game right now. Let's start with her base kit, because right out the gate, she's rocking some absolutely ridiculous immunities. Poison immunity, which is already rare in the science class. Neutralize immunity, that's clutch, especially against all those mystic defenders. And on top of that, power steal immunity. Like bro, that's 3 huge immunities baked in before we even talk about the rest of her kit. That's just insane value already. Now let's talk about her utility. She's got her own natural evade that can literally save your butt in clutch moments. And get this, it even works against unstoppable effects and miss mechanics. Doesn't matter if it's a buff or a passive, Spiderwoman's evade just says, nope, not today. That makes her one of the most reliable counters to all those annoying champs with unstoppable invisibility or miss abilities. That's massive utility right there. And then her rotation is simple but deadly. You drop a special 2 to get that retribution debuff rolling. kind of like taunt on steroids. Then chain it with special ones to load up the power stings. And bro, watching your opponent absolutely melt just for throwing specials? That's peak satisfaction right there. She turns their own power against them, and it's hilarious every single time. But here's where Spiderwoman truly shines, and why she edges out Photon and Count Nefaria. Defense. I'm telling you, if you see her in your opponent's Battlegrounds deck, you better be ready. She is such an annoying defender. First, her constant evades will drive you nuts. Then there's Ensnare, which cuts your ability accuracy by 30%. So your abilities just start failing left and right, like you're fighting domino. And if you're running Inequity, forget about it. She stacks so many debuffs on you, your attack just drops into the basement. Oh, and don't even get me started on her messing with dexterity. She's got that ability where your dex mastery just straight up doesn't work during specials. So yeah, you end up blocking, and while you're blocking, she's loading you up with debuffs and power stings anyway. It's brutal. I've seen top-tier players get completely clapped by her, like even the best of the best are out here getting folded when they underestimate Spiderwoman on defense. At the end of the day, that's what pushed her into the #1 spot for me. Offense? Crazy strong. Defense? Absolutely insane. Utility? Through the roof. She's so well-rounded, it's honestly unfair. If Count Nefaria is the unstoppable offensive powerhouse, Spiderwoman is the complete package that just dominates every lane of the game. So yeah, easily my #1 science champion right now. If you've got her, rank her up. No questions asked, she's a monster. Alright, that's it for today. I'm telling you, these champs are cooking right now, and I'm just here vibing with them. But hey, don't just dip out, smash that like button if you're vibing too, because that tells me you actually want me to keep dropping heat like this. And you, don't forget, the next video is going to be even crazier, so hit that bell so you don't miss it. Alright, I'm out. Catch you in the next one.